Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is the issue of security. And we're going to, I would like to start with Tope, because I know last week you talked about an issue that happened. You were saying that people reached out to you on the expressway concerning the fact that young boys are robbing. You know, unfortunately, you then encountered exactly what you said last week. So since you are here with us, we might as well just start with you, because it's important for us to remind ourselves to be safe. Because yesterday when I was driving home from the island, because of your story, I came through Third Mainland Bridge, but I went straight to Ikorodu Road. I didn't go through that expressway going towards Magodo. I cut through to Ikorodu Road so that not so I don't go through what she went through. But let me give you a few minutes to share your experience with us, and then we'll open the phone lines, because sometimes people need to share and express their own stories so government understands what people are going through, and they can help us to double up on efforts. Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
So on Wednesday on the show, early on Wednesday morning, someone reached out to me, former staff of TVC, called me to say that he was attacked on Monday. Yeah. And he described where he was attacked. He was attacked around Uronshoki, between Uronshoki and Ugudu area, and he said that he had heard that attacks are taking place within that area before, and then it happened to him where his driver's side of the car window was smashed and he was robbed. Then I came on the show on Wednesday, spoke about it. On Friday, I had an event on the island, and on my way back, because I had gone on Thursday, I came back late trying to avoid traffic, and my mom was like, no, you said they are robbing people, come earlier. So on Friday, I deliberately came back earlier. This attack happened around 7:30, so it wasn't like very late in the night, but there was traffic. So the Alakpere Bridge taking you into 7-Up was where the attack took place. And because I knew, I'm conscious of the fact that they usually rob, I had been looking around and I saw that there were police officers on the bridge. They are always parked there anyway. And they were clustered around. There was like a young man on the floor. So I felt maybe they caught one of the robbers. And then they were talking to him. I drove barely 2 minutes after that. I was flanked by 2 men. And
on both sides?
On both sides. And they were hitting the window. Somewhere in my head, I cannot lose anything. I just swerved like I cannot be wrong. I swerved, and I swerved to the side of this guy. So because of my sharp swerve, he ran away. And I got into another lane. The other guy that was on my side kept hitting until he broke the glass. So, but I kept on finding, and it was bumper to bumper level of traffic. So
yeah, so I kept really maneuver.
There wasn't much maneuver, and it had not broken through then. Then I drove, there was a trailer by my side. I kept maneuvering over and over again until I was able to escape him, though he still followed through till he was able to break through. But I think other drivers also were aware of what was going on, and the little they could do was to make room for me to get into their front. So they made room and all of that. When I finished with that, the people were now shouting that, enter, you try. Even a woman, you try. Of course, just glass shards on my body. And then I must also mention the fact that immediately I called my husband and my producer, and Dolapo was with my husband when that after it happened. So incident happened. So Dolapo immediately reached out to a few people to say, one of our presenters got robbed in this place. How did that happen? The DPO came to my house that night to ascertain that he was there, that he knew, he just left the place after they caught someone, and he was going back to the station, that they are always watching out for that particular place.
Interestingly, I was fairly behind you, because I was passing that route around 9-ish, and I saw policemen. I mean, I was even scared because there were so many of them. Interestingly, some of them were carrying cutlasses, and he was walking down the Alakpa area, see if they were trying to know, I think they were looking for some people. I mean, so I was wondering what happened here, that everybody's just, all the police are all over the place, because they are doing the roads. They collapsed the lanes into one. So if you're coming in through the express, all the 4 lanes come into one. So there is a congestion. So I think that's what people take this opportunity to rob people. And that's why those policemen were there. But even though they were there, I think we also need reinforcement, or we also need to help each other, because these boys would always come, because the police can't really multiply.
So in my head, I was wondering, playing it back, what could they have done? They did a little, which was to make room for me to get into their fronts, because it was bumper to bumper traffic. But somebody was telling me what someone did for him was that when he was being robbed, the driver beside him swerved and hit the guy, which incapacitated him. And I think that if the more awareness people have that, you can do that to help out someone because you might not be able to, you might just be able to.
But if we do that, the person has a gun and shoots in car, so you have to be very careful.
Then having more lights on the roads, those kind of things, lights will definitely help. But Dima experiences this a lot, so.
The constructions that are happening, they can, you know, speed up. And then because, you know, the traffic builds up on those areas where construction are happening, you can just, you know, reinforce those areas on foot patrol as well as, you know, vehicle patrol. That's what I believe works. Because being stuck between a truck and in between two trucks is the most risky thing for any car user on Lagos roads. Timing and all of, based on my experiences, timing and all of those things exposes you. So what you need is to be able to see that there's somebody on foot. Imagine the one we had on the Oshodi Expressway, and I'm just landing on the other side of last mile. Now see all your policemen and last mile, they're gisting. How do you think I would feel? You know, you've just paid, because I usually have to pay. I don't want to risk what I've experienced in the past. I think last year, he made the papers. A young man was standing at, you know, a first gate bus stop on his way to work. Point blank shooting. That's what happens. So we need those areas where they are constructing, because now that you're talked about it, they are still doing the Oshodi Apapa Expressway, and they're getting closer to Second Rainbow. By La Casera, you have the boys there. If they knock on your glass, you have to pay something. You either drop anything they ask, you have to drop it. So we cannot continue to expose our citizens to this.
An extortion.
Let's please, you know, reinforce, beef up those red zones and let people be secure to pass.
Also, because of your experience, when I went for Princess Thing on Sunday, I was very careful to leave early because I did not want to, you know, find myself in a situation like that, especially as, you know, Akwangwa is also one of the ways I have to follow. So the bridges, also, I have trauma because I've been robbed there once before, and my husband maybe more than 3 times just on that. In fact, now they hail himself, so they hail him, they know him. So the thing is, the Akwangwa area, the bridge, there's some bumps, because they've done some road works and they're still working on that road, there's some bumps and it slows traffic. Yeah. So do you know that that road to my house, it takes maybe 10 minutes max. You know, on a Sunday, you should take that. But it took a little meeting with myself and my driver. Where should we go? Do you think... We ended that conversation with Madam, I have faith. I said, okay, we have to use our faith to go through that road. But I remember, you know, while on the bridge, I was happy to see the street lights. It just gave me a little confidence. The street light was so bright everywhere. You could see everybody's faces. I didn't see any police presence, but, you know, traffic was free flowing.
So I think the lights would actually help in this area. So if we can help the government to please give us more light on that area, maybe at least it will serve as a bit of a deterrent, because those boys don't want to be totally recognized by people. Let me go on a break. When we come back, we take some phone calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Where are we? Okay. So we're back. Now, I'd like to take some Facebook messages and tweets on this, because I know that many Nigerians go through not just in Lagos, across the country, issue of safety. And I think when we have a platform like this, it's important for us to remind our leaders of the little things that can be done to help enhance security for citizens.
Let me talk about the impact on business.
I was going to talk about how it's been done before. Right. You know, in the past, when we're talking about lighting up areas, the past administration, particularly in Lagos State, immediate past, focused on all of that. We saw a total light-up project, and I got relieved by the packed police vehicles in areas. Imagine getting to a trade fair on that bridge at night before. But during that administration, they were packed all the way
and there was light
to the entrance of my estate. To divert like this, you will see them. I knew them, we knew each other before it became like this. So the exposure that we are suffering now is because of that. And in my own area, I have to resort to the boys. The good boys of Lagos are now my friends. So you imagine you have to pay because you don't want somebody to see you being robbed and act like they don't know you. So this would affect areas where there's commercial activity. People want to go and patronize businesses, but they are afraid of how it is. And we know the areas, so we know what the key areas to focus on and improve on.
I have a call from Ikosi. Good morning, Femi. Are you there?
Good morning.
Hello, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to everyone over there.
Morning.
And Tope, I'm so sorry for what you experienced. And one thing I'm sure of is, if you are very familiar with that route, you discover that things like that are very common. I follow that route every day. And you know the funny thing? Those boys, we know them, we know their people. The police, I don't want to say the police are lying, but they are always there, but they're not doing their work. They like stopping the young boys, passing. I experience it most times. I use the muzzle car. You see that muzzle car? Anybody using that car is like they are in trouble. The moment they fight you, they will stop you. Police. So instead of focusing on those boys that are trying to, perpetrate those people, they will be chasing boys or chasing guys that are stopping their cars and then looking for ways to extort money from them. There was a Sunday, I was coming from church. I attended this stuff. I was coming from church. They stopped me on top of the bridge. I was descending the bridge. Another set of policemen stopped me. The same time, the same day. So they are not addressing these issues. I know many of those boys. I know their faces. There was a time.
Thank you very much, Femi. So, yeah, there are some police that probably are not doing the work they're supposed to do. But I know I have seen quite a few on standby in that route, because I have passed through that route several times, and they've been on standby. I was even shocked to see them holding cutlasses.
I even saw them catch a young man.
Yeah.
I saw it before my own incident happened. So I must. It's not. Of course, there are parts where there's need for improvement.
Of course,
across board. But I saw them that evening. They had caught one of a boy who was probably a criminal, and they held him down by their van, while another one took place. But here is another part we must understand. Where would they put all these boys? We cannot. It's not just about arresting them. Arresting is not the only solution. If we cannot arrest all the hoodlums, where will we put them? Which prison? There needs to be a system. There needs to be a reform system that would occupy them. We need to replace them from the criminal activities they are doing with other activities that will provide employment for them. So, a few times they talk about all this, their neighborhood watch as means of employing people. Sometimes I feel bad about it, but now I can understand it. And I think another thing that I would say is we need to stop street hawking. So that when we see anybody on the road, street hawkers, Mariah, I know you plantain chips, even me, popcorn, and those that buy,
that's what makes like Lagos,
everything. But this, I have my sister-in-law on Freedom Way in Lekki, that Freedom Way towards the place where you link the express. She was attacked by a man, a young boy, holding plantain chips. The boy had plantain chips in his hand, and he was like, give me money, give me money. So she said she crossed over the divider into the other side of the road. If she didn't have a car high enough to do that, how would she have escaped? So this was a plantain chips holding guy. Yes, some of them, this is their only means of income, but he also hides, the criminals hide among them.
So they ban it then, and all of us go back to the streets.
But do you know it has happened to us once that a hawker warned us about a robbery happening in front?
You see, so
my point is that if Lagos State government say today now, I want to ban Okada, I want to ban a hawker, those of us now will actually
have more criminals, Mariah.
we
are not allowed in Kano. Lagos seems to be the only state where Okadas are allowed.
Let me take this call from Abu. Abu, are you there?
They ban Okada in Kano.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Hello, Abu, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
In the studio.
Good morning.
Tope, I don't know. I think I owe you a bottle of champagne for the last point you just made. That was, yes. Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
Listen to your phone.
Yes, I said,
you're listening.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Listen to your
phone. And I said I owe Tope a bottle of champagne. For
we heard you the first time, yes.
Yes, so my take is that there should be a structural response. The government should have an intentional response to this problem. I should be able to create a database for, our children, and start from, for me, the Child Rights Act, personal domestication of the Child Rights Act in all the states of the Federation.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I lost that call. So, you see, he touched on something that was important. We have data. We know the names of everybody. So, for example, if I arrest you right now for trying to rob Tope, and I have your database. I know your name, I know your family. Maybe your mother could be billed or something. There's some I can't put you in jail because I don't have the space. But I can trace your family such that either somebody paid for the crime that you committed. So I value the phone that I've gotten from you, and I know that it's your mother's shop. We're going to remove X amount of tax. I'm just saying out of my head.
Yeah.
But there are ways of ensuring that they pay for these crimes somehow.
Yes. So, there are two facts here. We constantly talk about needing to recruit more police officers. If we need more of them on the streets, we need to recruit more. And of course, also we need to do better training of our police officers because, alongside these boys, we also have some police officers who will stop you to demand for bribe too, So that's something we need to work on with our police officers. Secondly, also is the prisons, like you mentioned. If our prisons, our correctional centers are full, with more hardcore criminals,
you can't put them there. You
find that, when these hoodlums come in, they sort of decide, okay, maybe we'll keep them for a week or two, keep them in the cell, and then, release them back out into society because maybe whatever they do, they only create small damage. But I think that we need to start thinking of putting those, what do you call it? The chains on them. What do you call that? When you put them under house arrest. So maybe we need to start looking at that. And then they say that when you leave a particular area, then, it will electrocute you or something like that. We need to look at that. We need to find more creative ways to handle these things. If we do not have enough room to put all of them there, then we have to find a place that they can stay in their homes and away from innocent citizens until they are rehabilitated.
We have
or something.
to wrap up on this, but I think, I
wanted to say that from experience, I know that every arrested person, hoodlum in any area, is within the data of the area command or within the police.
Let me go on a break. I'm sure we can continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're talking about Tope's James Bond move over the weekend, and your prayer and fasting.
My prayer and fasting.
Activating your faith.
Before you enter road.
Because, and it's not because there's a widespread of insecurity, but it's more like they're doing roads. Because let's be very sure that what's causing this thing. Because they are doing routes across the state, and I know it's from evening, so when you're driving from 8 p.m. or so, from 7 p.m., they begin to close the roads in preparation to work all night. Remember, we told them that please don't work during the day because they're going to work. We asked them to please work at night, which they have done. But now working at night is not causing these issues. They work at night. I mean, in that expressway, the lights, the trucks are there, they bring the big out lamps and all them, and they're tying the roads. So I know there's work ongoing. Now, how do we have work continue and safety of citizens together? And that's the real conversation here.
So I was going to say something that there's been every community, the good boys of our society, they have bosses, every one of them. They have bosses that they trail them to. There was a conversation we had few years back, and I was talking to someone within Computer Village. He said, if PIN lost inside this Computer Village, we know who we go call. When we call the person, they go bring out that PIN from here. And it has happened within Mushin area where my mom was doing business, that if something is missing, when you go and meet the Oga will just call his boy and say, bring it out. It happened with Mariah's phone. When the attack happened, they say, wow, these people have this PIN. Bring it out.
Yes,
every of the good boys have bosses, and these bosses have contacts with our police officers. So just the same way we must find political solutions to these things, we need to find political solutions to the hoodlum and the robbery going on, where we have conversations with the organs of our good boys. And we talk to them that these good boys need to calm down. Because there are major economic effects on these things. I have investors that are telling me, Tope, you're the one you say we should come and invest in Nigeria, we should come and buy land. I would come and buy land or buy a house in Lagos, and I cannot go to I can't go out at night, I can't go to a party and all of that. So there is impact, direct impact on the FBI that could come into this country because we are having security challenges. So the governor was not, it's not just about, yes, they are empower the police, light up the states, then talk to the organs of these good boys and let them understand you can no longer operate like this now.
Sure. Good morning. Are you there from Abuja, I believe? Good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're live.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel, calling from Abuja.
Yes, go ahead.
Precisely. Same thing happened to me yesterday when I was flying from what's it called? cked. I had to stop at that Maryland. Just not knowing that as I was talking to someone by the right hand side, the guy just broke the what's it called? My window glass. That was how I was robbed. So my laptop and everything. It's not knowing that the person I was even talking to that question is also their member. That's how they picked up my laptop and everything. But the only advice I would give to that lady on yellow, in case of next time, if you're the reason why the white people did that car for that horn for the car. If you are in a traffic like that next time, like what you should do, blow horn. The way they're down for you to blow in Lagos. For 2 minutes, people will run and check on you that what is wrong with this person. Those people trying to rob you, they will go away. I'm just calling because of you. You're calling about you yourself now about the issue you're going through.
Right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I think that's what she did.
My hand was permanently on the horn and I was maneuvering. And because my hand was there, people made room for me. But I think that it's good that we're making it public so that we also have our own ways of protecting. Anybody caught that situation, just press the horn permanently. It also might alert security operatives around to know that something is going on.
The security officer said to me that as a lady, we like to keep our things on the seats. That's why we were robbed. So even though I didn't keep, I used to make sure when I'm driving, I have to keep my important things like laptops under the seat. Yeah. But your phone, for instance, I don't drive in Lagos without being on the map. Yeah. I have to know what is up ahead of me. I don't want to be stuck in traffic based on my experiences. And I don't want to be caught behind a truck. So I want to see. In fact, before I move and live anywhere I am, I have to first of all check the map. Yeah. When I was at your mother's event, I checked the map to make sure that mobile traffic was thinning out until I could measure it to the thinnest.
So we all work with our phones. Phones almost
so your phones are
I don't do this anymore, but when I was single, I used to do that. I used to have a bag for this kind of things because as a single girl then, you're by yourself. I have a bag that has an old phone that I don't use, so an old wallet that has about maybe 2,000 or something like that. I just like it in dummy bag. It's just in case I get robbed, I just hang the bag. And that was my mentality then, but I've not done that recently. I don't know why, but
that's an idea.
It's another idea to have. Okay, we have to wrap up on this. I think I'd like to take a few messages before we run off, please. Okay. Any messages?
Dicey says, in America, we have what we call neighborhood watch, and that is done by its own citizens. My fellow Nigerians can practice that as well.
If Young says there should be enough police in traffic-prone areas. We have 1,000 plus spy police in Nigeria presently that can do the work. Police authorities should, since can recruit them. Yeah. Ifenola says, ladies, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos arrested 108 young men, most with families, last week Monday from the Merchant Navy camp in Ugudu, accusing them of impersonation. Till today, they are in police cell without being taken to court. It should take them to court instead of creating means of extorting money from family members.
You see, it's a multi-layered issue, you know. So we have to wrap up on this. But I think generally we have to just be careful out there. There's a lot of road work going across the state. And because of this, citizens should be careful. And we can also ask government to please give us more lights so that when it's well lit, people can feel a bit more secure and then more police patrol. And the police should be patrolling, not just staying in one spot. We like you to patrol, walk around, let people know that. And I know that these boys are also equipped. So the police, they're also scared for their own life, you know. But hey, at this point, I will add faith and prayer. That'd be extremely important. With all your equipment, please add prayer, fasting, binding is very important in Lagos.